3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, welcome to the Playback Podcast presented by Car, your weekly podcast featuring America's favorite dancers, hosted by America's favorite road warriors. We are your hosts, Jocelyn, Kristen, and Madison. And I'm just going to get it out of the way. Yes, I lost my voice this week. It's slowly coming back to me, but bear with me. I'm sorry if it's annoying to listen to. I'm going to try to not talk as much as I typically do. But I got my hot tea, so we'll be good. Take it away.
Her voice sounds much better today than it did on Sunday. So, you know, it's fine.
It's fine. We're getting through it. We're getting through
it. I was in Detroit this past weekend. Jocelyn was in Woodbridge, Virginia.
Yes.
Madison was also in Detroit, but not at a show. She was doing social media.
Yes.
And fishing. Multitasking.
I caught a really large fish and it scared me.
I did.
Yeah.
I caught a steelhead fish. Only person to catch that big of a fish on the trip. Thank you. Thank you.
She can do it all, folks. She can do it all.
Hey, you know, I used to fish on Animal Crossing.
Same.
I never played it.
It was just a quarantine thing. It was just to get us through the pandemic, you know?
The amount of hours we spent.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Like she said, I was in Woodbridge, Virginia. I was so excited to this show. I have not worked a Woodbridge show before, and I was supposed to right before the pandemic hit, and then obviously that show got canceled. And so I've been waiting to see these studios. We had some new joining us for the very first time, so it was a great weekend. And I'm just gonna hop right into one of my first picks. Sound good? Okay, so first and foremost, I have to give a shout out. I have to give a shout out to Waynesville Dance Center. This was a brand new studio. They've never been to Car before. They were the biggest studio of the weekend. They brought like over 200 acts, which is crazy. And they were a treat to have. First, I just want to say their entire staff, their prop dad, everyone was the most encouraging, welcoming. Like they were besties with our other biggest studio, CNC. And you don't always get that at a show. So the fact that they were just like encouraging one another, the prop dads were helping CNC's prop dads. Like it was just such a great show overall. So I just feel like we were on such a high the whole weekend because everyone was in just such a good mood. It was just such a great ambiance in the theater. But
I like it.
Not only were they amazing with their studio spirit, but choreography was so I want to talk about Act 510, Nothing Else Matters. The choreographer is Amber Daguerre. I don't know how to say it, but this dance was so cool. It was one of those dances where you bring out the prop and you're like, okay, this is going to be good. You know what I mean? So it was one of those props where they're all essentially bungee cord to each other. Like they have this one big round thing and they are essentially, those props, I think, are the hardest thing to do because you're getting tangled with one another and you're having to turn while still connected to this rope. You're having to do lifts, you're having to do tricks, and it's all just chaotic, but in such a beautiful way. And it's so cool to watch those props and you know that they spend hours rehearsing these types of dances because it's such an intricate part of the routine. And if one person messes up their rope, then it's done. You know what I mean? So it was a beautiful performance. I was so excited when they hit the prop. I knew it was going to be good, and they definitely did not disappoint. And going from that routine, which was, you know, a contemporary style, and then seeing all of their tap routines with 452 42nd Street, the choreographer Karen Taylor, their tap program at this studio, so good. I love it when I have these studios that aren't just doing one tap routine, but they have duets, they have solos, they have lines, they have so many different types of tap routines, and they have a very much like Broadway style to their choreography. Even some of their jazz routines were more of that, you know, rockette style. Loved it. They had such versatility between all of their kids. And like I said, that staff, the prop dads, the dancers, everyone was just such a pleasure to have for the weekend. And they ended up winning our ADCC Studio Spirit Award. So it was a great time to have them. We're so excited that they are officially joining the Car family. And we hope that we see them at another show soon, as they were so amazing to have. So awesome job to Gainesville Dance Center.
You know, I was in Minneapolis, and even I heard over there how good Gainesville was from like people who were at that show. So when I pulled videos of them. I'm like, oh, these guys are good. And then to hear like, all the good positive things about their studios, that's really cool.
Yeah, I think that's my
Wow.
favorite thing is you can be talented, but if you have that camaraderie with other studios as well, it just makes on the staff's end so much more enjoyable to work that show. But also, I think just the dancers overall, they were having so much fun. They were following each other on Instagram, and
cute.
like just hyping each other up backstage before their solos. It was so good. I love working those kinds of shows. What about you? Where
I
were
love
you?
I was in Detroit, Michigan, and there were some really great. Somehow we found ourselves being like an hour ahead each night, which was kind of nice.
That's so nice.
They had a lot of quick changes, so the fact that they were like back on stage within like 3 acts was amazing. I could hear our judges being like, "You guys were just on stage, like great job to you guys for getting dressed so quickly and hustling back on stage." Like it's awesome to have those kinds of weekends where the dancers are just fighting for their lives, hustling backstage. I mean, it helped the dressing rooms were like right there.
Totally.
The first dance I want to talk about is Act 408, Dancing with Myself from Piazza Dance Company. I love this song, and it was a cover. They came out and they had a prop. They had a table, and like there were some hooks under the table. They were in these cute like skirts, denim jacket outfits. They had phones and purses and Starbucks cups, and they go and they put the cups on the table. They hook their purses under the table. They're literally dancing with themselves. They do not have eye contact with anything else but their phones. They had little pop sockets on their phones. They were holding their phones, tapping. It was a tap routine. They would be swiping on their phones the whole time, like not interacting with each other. So it was literally quite literally dancing with myself. And it was such a cool concept. And I went back and I listened to our judges' critiques because I was like, I've never seen anything like this before. And all of their critiques were very similar, like, this is a clever concept. And they won second overall for secondary small groups 9 to 11. It was choreographed by Gina Piazza. And I've just never seen anything like it before. So I felt like I really needed to talk about it because we're in this day and age of always being on our phones. Like, on my phone at Tally, on my phone backstage, on the airplane, so it was a really clever concept. So kudos to Piazza Dance Company because it's definitely something I've never seen before.
I feel like I've seen phone routines, but they're always like one of those spoken word or like a contemporary, you know what I'm talking about? I've never seen like a fun routine with phones, if that makes sense. So
and
that's
their
just
tap
unique.
Sounds were so crisp and clean that it was very well done as a whole, from the costume, the props, the choreography. It was wonderful. I loved it.
That's a fun song.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool too that they kept the quick changes so fast, just knowing that takes so much stamina to be able to go back to back. I mean, think about how out of breath you are after 1 3-minute routine, let alone running to the dressing room, changing, running back, and then going full out again. So props to their studio teachers for training them and building up that stamina as well. My pick was also from your show. If we could play back Car Detroit Act 57, Blues in the Night. This is from Jordan Dance Center, and we've actually talked about Reese before. I believe you had her as a pick from Ultra, and this is I didn't even realize it was her at first. I just watched the dance and I sent it to Nurka and I was like, she's amazing. And she was like, that's the girl from Ultra that we talked about, but a different solo. And she had, just going through her pictures, she had so many picture perfect moments. Katie choreographed this routine, so obviously it was amazing. I thought it was really interesting that she was equally as good in her turns, her leaps, her legs. She wasn't just, oh, this girl's a turner, or, oh, this dancer is flexible. She was so strong in every single element of the dance. I feel like she would be a college team's dream. You can hit every single thing, every single trick, and perform in between all of it. I want to pull up, or if we could play her turn section. If you watch her turn section right now, you can see that she, keeps her releve the entire time. That does not drop at all, which I know from the top half, your turn section can look good. But if that releve is going heel down, heel down, heel down, it's just not as effective, and hers does not move at all. Her side leg does not drop one single bit. Her spot is so sharp. Her arms are so clean. It's really important that we're not throwing our arms back or opening up our port de bras during our turns, and hers is just perfect, which makes it so crisp. And my favorite thing of all that, she's hitting every single one of those elements, but also performing while she's doing her turns into the perfect jump after. So I just thought that was a really, really good moment to watch for all of our dancers or parents, that's how you execute a really perfect turn section with facials and with all those key elements that our judges are looking for. She did a great job. Katie said that she's one of the nicest dancers and such a team player, which is so cool to see because you can really tell that she might be the star of a lot of their groups. But the fact that she's humble and such a team player just makes her even better. Just like you were saying with that studio, it's great to have great studios, but to hear that they also have the kindness, the encouragement, and the team spirit just makes it that much better. But she was amazing, and I want to find out this week.
Sweet. I was in Minnesota, and you guys always talk about drilling, like drill teams. And I had someone, and I posted a quick, like, I think 15-second reel of her in white and black.
Yes.
You guys see?
Yes.
Okay, so her name is Bryn from JPJ Productions. I might be off by like one category, but she was like in 4 different segments, like solo, duet, trio.
Yeah.
And everyone she was in, they won first overall. She was just an absolute beast. So her and her partners were up by merch, and they said this.
We never really go over things like that in the studio. I just think it's more of like a confidence thing, and I feel super confident when I'm on stage, so it just made sense to go up there and get close to the judges. We drill a lot and we practice a lot, and we have a really good dance coach who makes our dance really clean. Our coach is a college coach, like she's coached a college dance team before, and she does a lot of like college type things. So with like sharpness and heads and drilling and going over and over the dances, I think that's what really makes our dances how they look.
That's what she said, and I thought it was funny how it played into what you guys always talk about.
Yeah.
And she's absolute beast.
It's huge. And especially like, I know it's intimidating to be front row, like right in front of those judges, but especially if you're a tapper, don't sell yourself short and stay at the back of the stage, because we want to hear those sounds. We want to see your facial expressions. So have that confidence, like trust yourself, trust your training to come up to the front of the stage, because that's when we're going to remember you. If you're right there in front of our faces, making that eye contact, pulling us into your performance, that's what's going to get you that win. And Minnesota is just overall such a talented place. Like,
I remember when we worked the Minnesota venue a few years back, and we had Premiere. I think they were there too.
yes.
Yeah.
And they did A Dream is a Wish, our favorite production that we've ever seen.
I've talked about that one before.
Oh my
too,
God, their
on the
production?
podcast. They're known for their productions, I
115
think.
people on
Yeah.
stage with scaffolding.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did they have moving sets or no?
Okay, I wasn't there for the beginning. I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah, no, it's
And
all
all of a
good.
sudden, the whole place is shaking.
Yeah. No, their productions are insane. And I love
And
it
their
when
super lines too are
Yeah.
great.
I tell my dancers all the time that whenever you're on stage, the stage is way bigger than you are. The lights outshine you. If you are even past that second Marley on that third or fourth, we can't see you. We can't see you. The judges are down below. There is I hate to be so harsh about it, but it is almost a waste of money to dance back there. You've trained, you've worked hard, you've practiced these routines. Come forward. Even just the pictures for your mom. If you're at the very back of the stage, those pictures aren't even as good. Come to the front of the stage, show off your hard work, and don't be afraid to be seen. You are putting all this time, effort, and money into performing your solo. It might feel a little nerve-wracking at first, but when you're setting yourself up in that wing, don't even come out of that third wing. Come out of that first or second wing to set yourself up to start at the front of the stage, to stay at the front of the stage, so we can appreciate and love on you and applaud you and really see all those key elements that you've put into your solo or group routines.
Okay, I wanted to ask about that because, as a non-dancer, I don't know. But I'm starting to learn things, and I notice a lot of the solos start on that back Marley. They're almost touching the backdrop. And I think to myself, there's no way they have to start back there, right? Like they could.
No, but think about if they're in their studio practicing, their studio is not as big as a stage. So they need the whole floor of their studio, which might be 2 or 3 Marleys to practice. So they're used to setting up at the back. But if your teachers and choreographers aren't setting you up for success to go out of the right wing and what Marley or tape line 2 set on, then some of them just out of habit go to the very back.
Yeah.
And then once you start in the back, especially if you're, a smaller, shorter dancer, you can only travel so much.
Mhm.
So then you're kind of confining yourself into a more back, smaller space. And, it's just, it doesn't look as good. And until
Yeah.
you're up in the front, you've got those lights on you. It just,
Yeah.
it,
I feel like it can even if you watch the same exact dance and it was two Marleys up, I feel like it
It's totally different.
automatically seems better.
mhm,
Yeah.
I agree.
And it could be like a confidence thing too.
For
I
sure.
was definitely shy growing up and I would stick to the back. But as I got a little bit more confident in my dancing ability, I definitely would say that I traveled forward way more.
Yeah. You were talking about productions, and I have to talk about this production. I am a big Little Mermaid person. I was like that mermaid obsessed child, and I've been waiting for a production that looked like this one. It was from Reagan Mason Haley Dance Company, Act 438, The Little Mermaid. And this production was 10 minutes long. And this girl that played Ariel, the stamina, when you're talking about stamina, she was dancing for 10 minutes straight.
No.
And this girl, her name is Anissa, and her solo Act 14 grand piano, choreographed by Tiffany, won first overall in the elite level. She was so good. But the fact that she was killing it in this production number for 10 minutes straight, the stamina, the performance quality, her technique was flawless, everything. And my favorite thing about a production when we're talking about the details, everything from the tiny props to the music transitions to the costume changes, everything was so well done and so thought out and so it was just an amazing routine. And I've never seen that studio before. Reagan Mason Haley, great choreographer. There was another routine that I'm going to make sure that we post on the Playback Instagram because it was such a vibe. And I forget the name of it, but I'm going to find it and we're going to post it because I think it'll do really well on social media because it was just that cool, fun jazz vibe. And the whole time I could tell that everyone was just kind of moving and grooving to it. But they had such cool choreography. But really, the standout for me was Anissa, the amazing dancer that won the soloist level, but also that Ariel, like, so good, so good. I love a good production like that. And it was just the cutest. It was so clean, costumes, everything. So awesome job to Reagan and the entire studio. And yeah, it was great having you guys this weekend.
The next solo I want to talk about is from Jordan Center Dance called Love is Proud. It was act number 60. It was intermediate solos 15 to 19. Her name was Lily Gortz. She's usually always splitting center with Reese in all of their routines and their group performances. I feel like she isn't talked about enough because when I saw her solo, Love is Proud, I was obsessed with it. She won first overall. She got that car convention scholarship.
Hey.
Register. She was fantastic. Her turns, her technique, everything about her performance quality was insane to me. And I feel like she doesn't get enough credit. She was incredible. I enjoyed her performance and I might have shed a tear. I don't know. We'll see. I will not confirm nor deny.
did.
Her costume was beautiful. It was like this red bustier kind of top. It was stunning. I just love when a dancer can complete her turns on that full releve the entire time. Did not even go half releve. It was that full
Amen.
arch. It was so wonderful. And you could tell when she was done with each turn, she was like, you saw it in her eyes. She was like, yes, I did it,
Yeah.
And it just like coming from a dancer, I was like, get it, girl, because that was wonderful. And it was so effortless the way that she performed on stage. And she won first overall, and it was very, very well deserved. So congrats
Congrats.
Congrats to Lily from Jordan Center Dance. Her solo was beautiful.
All right. My next pick is probably one of my favorites of my entire life. She was actually our mascot winner at Rainbow Chicago, Act 85, Nails, Hair, Hips, Heels, Elise from Ultimate Dance, and a couple things. One, most viewed video on Rainbow. 2, everybody's tagging Todrick in her TikTok video. 3, I reposted on my personal account and heard from people I haven't talked to in so long because everybody was swiping up saying, this girl is a mood. I want to be her. She's amazing. She brought every bit of sass and didn't leave one bit of performance off that stage. She really just like killed it. She embodied that routine like so perfectly. But besides, yes, obviously her performance was great. The song was great. Her attitude was great. I want to talk about the choreography on it and her teacher because especially with our younger dancers, sometimes we just give them a lot of movement and kind of choreograph, a little bit to the music and they have a hard time keeping it really clean. You can tell this teacher really choreographed count by count. It was so clean. It was so crisp. It was so age appropriate and it wasn't skills that she couldn't nail perfectly. She nailed every single skill in there and executed it perfectly. And I know that's hard to see, especially with our younger dancers, because, we're kind of pushing them. We want them to grow, but you can tell that this might've been harder at the beginning of the season, but she had zero issues with any bit of that dance, nailed it perfectly, executed every count. It was one of the cleanest routines I've seen. And she's an itty bitty baby. It was my favorite thing. I know. I love her. I'm obsessed with her. If she wants to get lunch, let me know. I would love to hang out with her.
Oh my God.
She's so cute. She also has her own Instagram, so follow Elise.
Okay, I have to talk about this group dance from CNC Dance Co. They won first overall elite large group. Playback 446 Tomb Raider. Choreographer Sammy Brennan. Her jazz is one of my favorite things to watch. First of all, the star of the show was Trey, their dancer, who
he's really good.
He's a protege.
He's a protege. Yes, he is a protege.
What did you say before?
I don't know.
Corgis with something.
You guys, I'm really trying.
A bagel named Eagle.
I'm really trying. But yes, Trey from CNC Dance Co. I'm obsessed with him. I feel like we're besties, honestly, after this weekend. But he was in this super cool mummy costume, even had everything down to the eye contact things that like make you look super scary. And all the girls were in these Tomb Raider outfits. And oh my gosh, this dance was so good. It was like one of those dances where you're so invested that your like palms are sweating. You know what I mean? When you're like, oh my gosh, I'm hanging on to like every last movement. So good. I was obsessed with it. And not only did he kill in like that jazz area, but him and our other protege, Sierra Hines, did 117 I Don't Trust You. This also was choreographed by Sammy. So this just shows the versatility between not only their choreographers at CNC, but also their dancers, because they came out with this beautiful duet and it's called I Don't Trust You. And the thing that I liked the most about it is we've seen routines like this always, a boy and a girl. It's always the boy, right? It's always the boy. I don't trust the boy. It was Sierra. And I feel like it was like, it's such a minor detail.
Finally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it was, okay.
Not Nate.
Like, it was such a minor detail, but like, I think it made the dance that much better because you were almost assuming the whole dance that it was him, right? You're like, oh man, he's the one that she doesn't trust. But at the end, it was her. And it was just so good. Their technique, their connection, you can tell that they're just such close friends. But it was just beautifully done. So I was just obsessed, honestly, with the whole studio. And they even won a People's Choice for their beautiful line choreographed by Mr. Jesse, who's insane when it comes to that lyrical contemporary style. It was 450 The Rose, and Trey was dressed as the Beast. And then they had, I believe her name is Adriana. She was Belle, and it was just stunning. And literally at the end, they kissed, and I went, like I full on gasped when they kissed at the end. It was so good. They won the People's Choice Award. And I don't know if we've ever explained what the People's Choice Award is on the podcast. So just to give you a little background, every single weekend at the Car and the Rainbow shows, you will get one People's Choice Award. And this is chosen by our judging panel. And this is essentially the one dance that they want to represent the entire weekend of competition. And it is for our Industry Dance Awards. So our Industry Dance Awards is our big DAC fundraiser awards show that we do every fall. And this year it's October 12th. So mark your calendars. But this dance essentially is up in the running for an Industry Dance Award now. So every single weekend, one show will have one dance nominated, and then now it's on the people. So now you guys can go and vote for whatever dance you guys want to win that People's Choice Award at the Industry Dance Awards. Highly recommend going and watching this dance. It was beautifully done. And
I think those open up like in August.
yeah, we'll
right?
definitely post when
Yeah.
it's time to start voting and everything, but we'll post these videos because they were so good. So just shout out to Sammy, Jesse, Carrie, everybody, Pat, everybody at CNC killed it this weekend. Choreography, dancers, and like I said, they were besties with Gainesville, who they were top competitors with. So it was just awesome to see that for the whole weekend.
I feel like it's every parent's dream to have your dancer train under Sammy and Pat. I feel like not only do they push them to like so many different levels, different styles, they are one of the studios that have, or they just create that environment that has the best camaraderie and the best team spirit. And I'm almost jealous when I watch them with their students. I'm like, I wish I could, can I be your student for the day? I'll go do a solo just so I can train under you or get that encouragement speech. I feel like they do a really good job with that.
Totally.
It's like a good family vibe.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
This was a group dance from Dance Arts Center. It's called Last Dance, Last Chance. And it was cool because kind of like what you talked about a few dances ago. I don't know. It was you, Jocelyn. You said it. You thought it was going to start one way, but the
Yes.
Sierra. This one, it's kind of started out with Unchained Melody.
Ooh.
And everyone's dancing. They're kind of like wearing prom dresses or something like that. And then
This is the video you sent.
Yeah, the video I sent
So
you.
good.
It starts abruptly, but then actually that song is ending. And then the girl's kind of sad. Watch, like right here, she's kind of sad walking around, and it's about her trying to find a dance partner.
Mhm.
But I just thought it was so cool. And I set up a second camera angle for the groups in that section. And I thought all the dancers did a great job. And that was probably my favorite one of the weekend.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was a cool video that you got.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job.
I
think
how it goes from the front angle to the side angle when you edit those videos. It looks really cool.
I don't know if this is going to sound preachy, but I'm just going to go for it. I know that there's so many different competitions people can choose from every single weekend. And I always think if I was a studio owner or a director, how would I pick where to send my kids? I know nowadays social media content and those pictures and videos have to be so important. Those parents are what they want, those memories. They want them captured perfectly. And I just love the product that our teams are producing. I don't know if you have a hard time choosing, pick us. If it's not because you love the way it runs or that it's early, pick us for the content. Pick us because you're going to get the best pictures. The pictures I was going through these weekends, you guys should see my camera roll. I have thousands saved because there were so many pictures that I was like, this is the best picture I've ever seen in my entire life. The videos having 2 camera angles and capturing that, you pay a ton of money if you want that done, if you want somebody to come to your studio and to capture that moment. I don't know. I don't mean to sound preachy, but it just kind of I had an aha moment that if I was an outsider trying to pick something, I would pick us for the memories that you're capturing of your dancers on stage.
Our team is actually so passionate about capturing those moments of your dancers. Like, for example, this past weekend, we had Pierce as photo, and then we had Kenneth as media. And Kenneth made sure to check the schedule to see when some solos were on stage, especially like our elite solos when they're like 15 to 19 and they're seniors and he knows that they're graduating. He pulled out his personal camera and got in the auditorium and started taking photos of those seniors. And I just feel like it just goes to show how passionate our team members are. They really want to make sure that these dancers have every perfect photo, every perfect video, whether it's from side stage, judges table, back in the auditorium.
Definitely.
It's wonderful.
Speaking of seniors, just so you guys know, if you're coming to any of our national finals and you are a graduating senior, go onto our website and make sure that you are applying for our senior scholarship. We give a scholarship out at every single finals during our showcase, and it can go to you. So if you're a dancer graduating high school this year, make sure that you apply. Obviously, we want to make sure that you are a well-balanced student as well as dancer. So there's a little bit of an application process and everything, but it's an amazing opportunity. So don't miss that opportunity.
Yeah,
make sure you go onto our website and apply as soon as possible if you're going to one of our national finals.
The last dance I want to talk about, I actually cried during. And
really? You cried?
Yeah, it's like
Shocker.
a crazy, like shocking concept that I cried. But I texted it right away in our social group chat, and I was like, you guys, her photos are going to be stunning. Her video is stunning. I already know. It was Act 292, Memory, Mackenzie Aaliyah from Piazza Dance Company. Stunning performer. Like, I can't say enough about how she performed. It was from the moment that she walked on the stage. Her turns were crisp. Her jumps were crisp. It was I forget what this song is from. When you guys see it and you hear the music, you'll know, because it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't figure it out at this moment in time. My brain is mush. I'm sorry. It's like nearing the end of the season. And
This is the perfect time to go
To
ahead and
shout
take a
out-
swig of your Celsius.
I don't have any more.
You guys, I'm telling you, this weekend, like, because not only did I have no voice, but like, you know, you're worn down. I drank like 3 a day.
3?
I don't know if you're supposed to.
No,
The can, yeah.
It's
That,
recommended.
and that's like the limit, not even the recommendation.
But I
Yeah.
didn't necessarily drink the 3 cans because I've also been using the powder packets.
Oh,
So you just pour those into your water bottle and
okay. Anyways,
Were they
Okay.
effective?
yes.
I feel like
I
no.
feel like it's the crack that's addicting of like the carbonation.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Anyways, so Act 292, Memory, Mackenzie from Piazza. You guys, like, we have to talk about her. She was
do
insane.
it, let's
She
do it.
had 2 solos, but this one won first overall. And it was a beautiful performance. And Piazza actually came and they said thank you after the comp was over. And I was like, I'm going to talk about Mackenzie because she was incredible. And they already knew who I was going to talk about before I even said her name. So that just goes to show, like, she's a stunning dancer and she's definitely trained hard for what she performed on stage. It was beautiful. We'll post her.
yeah, I want to see.
Yeah, she was stunning.
Was she the girl in that kind of light pink costume that you sent me?
Yes.
So good. So
And she
good.
won Miss
Beautiful.
Dance too. So it was very well deserved.
She was stunning. The last dance I want to talk about is, I know I already said one of my favorites of the whole year, but also like one of my favorites too. She's from, or if we could play back, Car Mesa, Act 19, Respect from Dance Deluxe. Whoa, Dance Deluxe, not Deluxe. But her name is, help me say this, Aracely.
Araceli.
Aracely Lee. And there's so many things that I want to point out. I posted her. I don't know if y'all saw her, but she was that little but mighty dancer from Arizona who had perfect tricks. I just every single element of this dance was executed with perfect technique. And she was an intermediate level dancer. And something that I want to point out, I know we always see people commenting on Facebook and stuff about levels and dance teachers entering their dancers at different levels. And I'll have you talk more about that in a second, Kristen. But I want to acknowledge her teachers who she was placed as a secondary dancer. They came to Megan and they're like, hey, you know what? We were just going through everybody and where everybody's placed. We need to bump our dancer up. Now, if she would have gone on stage, this dance to me is an intermediate dance. It is not a secondary dance. So I'm sure our level promotion program that our judges have built into their system, I'm sure they would have bumped her on their own. But I just think so much respect. Her dance is respect and props to their teachers for moving her up. Another thing is, I don't want to just shout out Arizona because we're from Arizona, but the training that Arizona has, their studios focus so much on a strength and flexibility class, which allows them to have these picture perfect moments. You can see they know it's muscle memory, exactly what they need to do to execute it perfectly every single time. And I just really want to give props to those studios and teachers who are focusing and not just, they're adding that extra class that you don't have to have that is clearly making a huge difference. So props to their studio and what they've done with her. That dance was phenomenal, and props to them for bumping her up. I don't know exactly how that works on the tally end or judges end. Do you want to kind of maybe tell our audience a little bit more about what that means for a level promotion?
Totally. Before I do that, it's a funny story. I actually used to dance with the owners of Dance Deluxe when I was younger. And it's
Really?
funny because I've been going back and forth over email with them with their levels over the past few weeks. But Ariel and Alexis Jennings, we used to dance at, what was it called? Bridget McCarter Dance Academy when I was like a baby.
Wow.
So it's cool to see them like owning a studio and really taking the lead on all of that. So kudos to them.
Yeah.
They're doing amazing.
Yeah, shoot. We have a level promotion program with CAR and Rainbow. And if the judges feel like a dance on stage should be in a higher level, congrats, because that means
Yeah.
that you are really taking the time to train those dancers to be great and move up levels. Because at the end of the day, you want your dancer to succeed. And then by them succeeding, that means that they are moving up the totem pole to get to that elite level of competition. So, in order to be promoted, it must meet the following criteria. 2 or more promotion votes by the judging panel. So on the judge's screen, there is literally a box that says recommend for a level promotion. And if 2 of our judges press that, it sends a alert to me, and then I let my director know, and then my director will then go and talk to the teacher. And I don't think that this is a negative thing. I think it's a
Awesome.
very positive thing, because that means that your dancer is working so hard that the judges are like, holy crap, they need to be moved up. Then we go in and we look at the score, and we want to make sure that the score lines up with that. So they should be scoring at that highest score level for their level that they are currently in. And if all of that matches up and that meets, then we will then bump up that dancer. So we see a lot of stuff online on Facebook, on Dance Teacher Network about, well, this dancer is an intermediate and they're doing amazing turns. A dancer could be in secondary and have amazing turns, and maybe they're really, really good at turns, but their flexibility and strength is not there. So it's kind of like a battle that we have to fight of what level should our dancers be placed in. And on our website, we do have a great leveling calculator that's super in depth. And I think it's a wonderful tool to look at as a studio owner. So, for example, novice level dancer has a maximum of 2 hours of technical based class. Primary is 3 hours or less. Secondary is 3 to 5 hours. Intermediate is 5 to 6 hours, and elite is 6 hours or more of technical based class. And we also have recommended for dancers age 15 to 19, 12 to 14. There's so much information online. If you're ever questioning, say you're at a different dance competition and you're questioning, like, there's a dancer on stage and you're like, they should be an intermediate or they should be an elite. Open up your phone, check out their website, because 9 times out of 10, they have all of that information there that you can look and be like, oh, okay, like maybe they do fall right into that range. And then it gives you something to work on at the studio. Like, okay, let's see what we can make better, you know?
Yeah, not all competitions do the same leveling.
Yeah.
So don't just assume because at our shows you're an intermediate dancer that you're going to be intermediate at every other competition, because everyone's going to have something a little bit different with their systems.
And our CCS team is super awesome in helping you decipher those levels of your dancers. So a 9 to 11 dancer, you might have them in elite at one competition, but maybe at our competition, they might not have any other dancers in that level for your kids to compete with. So you might bump them to intermediate instead. So we're very flexible with all of that. And we've definitely seen dancers get bumped up.
I will just say, just so you guys know, if you say you bump your dancer, say they're 9, and you have them in the elite level, they have to stay in that elite level for the rest of their time competing with our company. So make sure, you don't just bump them up. Oh, I'll just bump them up for this competition, because they're not allowed to bump back down, if that makes sense, because then in our eyes, in our system, they're an elite dancer. So why next season would they go back down to intermediate, if that makes sense? Okay, so I just have to talk about the amazing weekend that we had this past weekend in Woodbridge with DAC. We announced our third junior ambassador for our Hope Society program, Miss Roxy Brennan. She killed it this weekend. She's the cutest. She's been a big supporter of DAC for a couple years. Like when I first started DAC, we did this social media contest for designing like a DIY, because it was still kind of during the pandemic. And remember, like that was the thing to do during the pandemic, was like you were stuck at home. So you tie-dyed, you did all these fun like arts and crafts with your clothes. So she ended up helping us do one of those. And so when we were looking for more ambassadors, she was obviously a perfect pick. So we're very excited to have Miss Roxy Brennan joining the DAC family. She did great with her solos and all her group dances. She is just a little firecracker. I have been a big fan of hers for years now. So I was really looking forward to getting to watch her live because I hadn't seen her perform live in like 3 years. So I was really excited. And then also we had Jimmy Love, our DAC TikTok choreographer, there at our show this weekend. So he went up on stage with Roxy and with a bunch of our car proteges, and all the dancers got on stage together for that award ceremony and did the DAC Dance of the Month for April. It was so fun. So cute. We're excited for our May 1 to come out. So make sure you guys are following us on TikTok at I'm a Dancer Against Cancer so that you guys can know all of those dances for those award ceremonies. And we're going to be dropping one specifically for finals. So make sure if you're coming to our national finals, you're following us because we're going to be giving out prizes if you know the dance at finals. So just so you guys know about that. And then also, this was so cool. And this is my favorite part about being out on the road is there's so many people across the country that are Dancers Against Cancer that we are not aware of. So we had the pleasure of getting to watch, perform, and meet Kendall Lebowitz from Lyric Dance. And she did her solo to In My Blood, and she's actually cancer-free right now. As of right now, she is cancer-free. She's in remission.
Wow.
She's doing incredible. She did a solo to In My Blood by that Shawn Mendes song. It was a cover. It was a beautiful cover. But she was stunning. And she ended up right after we did that whole DAC presentation, her teacher came up to me and was like, hey, I don't know if you know, but we actually have a dancer on stage right now that just beat cancer. And I was like, no, I had no idea. Like, would she want to talk about a little bit of her story? And she's like, yes, she's a huge advocate. So she ended up sharing a little bit about her story.
Goosebumps.
I know.
Yeah, I'm about to cry.
So it was just like that's what we're there for. You know what I mean? And so the fact that we were able to discover yet another amazing dancer who is beating cancer, still dancing, mind you, through her treatment, incredible. And so I'm going to make sure that we post her story or her performance on the Dancers Against Cancer Instagram page because she did such an amazing job. And I'm definitely going to get more involved with her and getting. You're crying?
Yeah. I just love it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's special. It really is special. And that's why I love being out on the road because you don't necessarily know about all of these dancers that are battling cancer. And especially if they're able to continue dancing through their treatment, that is, I can't imagine. I really can't. So she was just such a treat to get to meet this weekend. Her and her mom were the sweetest. And I'm really excited. We're definitely going to be doing more fundraising events with them. And yeah, it was just a great weekend overall for DAC. Like this is what we're here for. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Yes.
I had a little like aha moment when I was watching the video of all the proteges, all the dancers, and Jimmy doing the routine. One that was just so good and made me get goosebumps too. But two, if you're a hip hop teacher at your studio or whatever style it is for the month, I would 100% be using that choreography and teaching it to my dancers. One, it's fun for them to be able to do it on stage during awards, obviously. But two, that choreography and that dance was so good and challenging, but it was the perfect mix of, you know, a fun class because we're doing this to support Dancers Against Cancer. And so you can do it at awards. And I feel like having somewhere where they can perform it makes it a little bit more exciting to learn and practice. But two, it's great elements, great practice, great training. So if I was a teacher, I would be teaching my dancers that. At least do that for one night for your classes. It's fun and it brings up the energy too.
Definitely. It was super fun. And Jimmy, I don't know if you guys know this, you might have seen Jimmy on the Grammys stage. He actually performed at the Grammys. So he is incredible. His performance quality is insane, but also he's a great choreographer. Like I love watching these performances. And I think it's definitely challenging to these dancers, but I think it's only going to make them that much stronger and that much more versatile.
All right, my last, I always have a little topic for discussion at the end. This one was also from our lovely dance teacher network. And I was just seeing, and I see this a lot, I'm sure y'all do too, but teachers saying, what styles are going to win at competition? Judges, if you have feedback, can you comment and tell me what styles I need to be competing so my dancers can win? And for me personally, it's not a style, or at least I believe in the judges I've talked to, it's not a style that wins, it's the execution. And so if you are helping your dancers execute this style perfectly and having great technique and really going through every element of that dance, that is going to score well. They're not going to pick a style. But I also thought back to if I was in the studio, if I have a teacher like Tammy from Triple Threat or Michelle Miner who's choreographing this tap routine where some other studios might say, oh, we're never going to win with tap. They know at the beginning of the season that their tap routine is going to take home everything. And they have that confidence in it, and they give that confidence to their dancers. If you're doing the opposite of that and you are kind of shedding this doubt on your dancers saying, oh, we're going to do a ballet routine just so you can practice your ballet, but your lyrical is what's going to win. That's so disheartening, and the dancer's not going to focus that much on that dance. Give every single style the opportunity, confidence, and encouragement across the board with your dancers. It's my 2 cents.
I agree.
What do y'all think?
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter what style you're doing. If you're up there and you're giving the performance, the technique, everything to back up that performance, doesn't matter what it is. Like, I hate it when people think that, like we always say, oh, we need to be big advocates for tap because, I feel like it doesn't get enough love. But like at a competitive level, when you see a good tap routine, it doesn't matter if you're not a tapper yourself as a judge, it's going to win because the technique that goes into it, the execution, like you're saying, it deserves to win. And I think that keeping in mind that our judging panel are very, very well versed in multiple styles. So just because in their bio it may say that their specialty is hip hop or their specialty is musical theater, that doesn't mean that's the only dance that they're going to be favoriting, essentially. If anything, sometimes we've even talked about this before. They judge the styles that they're more comfortable with, maybe a little bit harsher because they know the more intricate things versus for example, one of like our folk ethnic routines who maybe they don't have a lot of background information on the technical aspects of those routines. They're that much more in awe of the execution and that much more impressed with their ability to perform those routines. So I think that just encouraging your dancers, like it's anyone's shot to win, truly. And it doesn't matter if you've been dancing for 2 years. It doesn't matter if you've been dancing for 12 years. If you have the technique, the stage presence to pull off that routine and you make that connection with those judges, they're going to love you.
Amen.
I think you can't go into any routine in a negative mindset at all. Like, oh, I'm not that great at tap, but I'm doing my tap solo on stage, or I'm not that great at lyrical and I'm doing my lyrical solo, because you're already setting yourself up for failure. Go into it with such a positive mindset and you'll be surprised at what you can accomplish.
Yep. And not even just the mindset of, oh, we need to win. Like, just go into the mindset of, let's impact this audience. That's all it has to be.
Tell our story.
I like that.
It's wonderful.
Let's put that on a shirt. I like that. All right. Well, that's all I had.
Same. Did you have any last things? We love it.
Where will y'all be this weekend?
I will be in Trenton, New Jersey at a car show.
I will be at Rainbow Davenport.
And Madison is taking the Ultra Tour. Woo! We love it. It's her first time.
I'm a little bit nervous.
She'll be fine. I've done every Ultra show since we started this year. But Madison is going to hold things down in Detroit this weekend. I'm excited for her to get to experience it. It's such a fun atmosphere to be a part of. And I'm telling you, probably my favorite part. And this was my first car show that I worked as MC since probably like a month ago.
Yeah.
I missed the for the awards, for the photos, because it's so fun. And so every time we were doing awards at car, I kept thinking like, oh no, am I forgetting something? But it's just because I got so used to hearing that.
See, I've never heard the bam.
I don't even know what you play it during awards.
Yes, well, I'll train you. You're good. Anyway, I think that wraps up our episode. We missed you guys last week. We took a little break over our spring break.
Some of you were upset about that last week. We're sorry. We needed just like you. Sometimes you have a weekend off from competition. Sometimes we need a week off from filming.
Definitely. But we're excited to be back. As always, thank you guys for listening. Make sure you're following us at Playback Podcast. We're going to be posting so many videos. As you guys have seen, we've been doing our picks of the week. So each of us are doing our photos of the week. And so make sure you guys are following us so we can definitely tag you guys and give you the recognition that you deserve. As always, follow DAC, Car, Ultra, Rainbow, all of the things. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you on the road.